Hello, my name is Chris Campbell, and we welcome you to another installment of One-on-One, where today our guest for this episode is City Council President Linnie Taylor. Welcome, Madam President.
Hello, how are you?
Doing quite well. So glad to have you here in the show this afternoon.
Thank you for having me.
Now, we want to get into talking about this year, which has been unlike any other, unprecedented with COVID-19, many of the economic challenges that have been created as a result. As a newly installed council president, what has been your biggest challenge that you've had to deal with thus far, and how have you been able to overcome it?
Well, Chris, you named it. It's been the COVID-19. The battle with this is unprecedented. This pandemic has taken us all by surprise and by storm. We've had to change everything about what we do. Our total lives have changed. We went from in-person meetings to online meetings, and a lot of us had never before done an online meeting. So it's new challenges. So just everything is just different. And how we've approached that is, as a team, we come together and say what's working and what's not, what's the best way. And we found that using our internet, our WebEx meetings, our conference calls to keep people safe. Safety is number one. That's the first thing that we do, is make sure that all of the employees, all of the residents and our businesses are safe. So COVID-19 would be my number one challenge.
Yes. Now, you're the newly installed council president, but you're not new to council. You've been on council for some years, on this tenure and then in the past. Kind of just briefly walk us through basically your trajectory on Southfield City Council.
Thank you, Chris. My first experience with being on council was when I was appointed, unanimously appointed in 2009, which I'm very, very proud and I was so excited at the time. And I was new to being on council. I wasn't new to civil government, but I was new to being on council. I've always been a leader in our neighborhoods and in the schools for my children and that, but this was the first time in government that I was a leader, and it was very exciting to me, and I wanted to learn what is the best things to do and how I can best serve the people of the city.
Councilman Taylor, what's been the biggest difference you've noticed on a municipal level in transitioning into the council president seat?
Well, it hasn't been that big of a transition for me, Chris, I must say, because as a council person, I was on several committees. I've been on the finance committee, I've been on the planning committee as well as the library board. And in those roles, we have a lot of governmental things that we have to understand, and the processes are very similar when we get on council. So when I went from council member to council president, it was just another step in the same area and just in a new direction.
Now, talk about your experience as a human resources professional, because in addition to your city council position, that's what you do secularly. How does your experience in the HR field inform what you do from a leadership perspective with the city of Southfield?
They fit perfectly together, actually. I'm the corporate payroll manager at ThyssenKrupp here in Southfield, and what we do in a business area is the same things that I bring to the city of Southfield in a council position, because I can help with the understanding of the way processes and procedures are handled, and I have a new or a greater relationship with our employees, a better understanding of unions and union contracts, the way labor relations work, and how everything works together, and then bring it together with the government side as well for the city. By that I mean we can take our laws, our rules, compliances, and put them together with how employees work in their relationships with the labor and with unions and with benefits. All those kinds of things just all work together. And if you have an understanding of all, it just helps you when we're writing up our compliances and our reports and things like that. It just helps.
Yes. Now, considering recent national events that have taken place involving police brutality, systemic racism, Southfield has been at the forefront in advocating for social change through peaceful demonstrations and policy reform, and many of its elected leadership has participated in many of these events. Unpack your feelings at seeing recent incidents of racial injustice and how that informs how you react as an elected leader in the community.
Thank you, Chris. Yes, given the times that we live in, I am an African American woman. I have 2 African American sons. This is real. And the way that racial injustice is in the world today, it affects all of us. All lives matter. What I'm very happy about is that I am in a leadership role in the city of Southfield, where I have I myself, along with our council, have partnered with our city officials, especially our police chief, Chief Elvin Barron. We have training. We have all kinds of things happening with our police to help them to understand racial injustice, racial biases, training for unconscious bias that all of us may have, and how to work in the public, because that's what they have to do, and how to recognize different times when people might have a different feeling about something, and the proper way to approach someone that may be of a different ethnicity than you are, helping you to understand those different situations and how a certain word or a certain gesture may be taken out of context, or how to put it in the proper context, and then react appropriately. So that's very important for me.
Yes. Now, speaking of things that are important to you, teamwork is a big thing for you as well. Talk about your colleagues. What has it been like working collaboratively with your fellow elected officials and getting things done on a city level?
And that, again, is a unique situation. I think the council that we have today, we all work very, very well together. We each bring unique things to the council, that we have different talents that we bring forward to the council. And we all work together uniquely to form a perfect, I shouldn't say perfect, but almost perfect team in working together and getting things done, and how to get things accomplished. And again, going back to what's going on in the world today, we're in Southfield as the council, and as the leader of the council, I'm pushing healing. But we must all know that for every action, there's a consequence. So in order to heal and to heal properly, we need to hold people accountable for the actions that they take, and then we can move forward. And that's how we here in Southfield are doing that. No matter who you are, including myself, I hold myself accountable for different things and how I act or react to things. So it's very, very important, and all of the council works well together in different areas because of our different talents.
Yes, absolutely. Now, in terms of other stakeholders and team members, talk about the important role that city employees have played in helping city council achieve its objectives.
Well, let me just say thank you to all of the city employees. We here on city council and in administration could not do the things that we do were it not for the city employees, the unspoken heroes, the ones that's behind the scenes doing all of the investigating, the reporting. They check, they do the research for us, they answer all of the questions and prepare nice packets for us of information so that we can utilize that. So we could not do what we do were it not for the employees. So I hold all of our employees in high regard. And I personally say every opportunity that I get that we have the cream of the crop when it comes to our employees. The city of Southfield employees are second to none. I would put our employees up against any city employee anywhere. I highly regard all of our employees.
Yes. Now, what has been your most rewarding moment thus far as city council president?
The most rewarding, I think, is when seeing the COVID numbers go down. We have stepped up in every area. We work with businesses, we work with the county, we work with the state, we work with federal government in preparing COVID packets, helping people to have different kinds of protection, masks, gloves, sanitizer, and that kind of thing, and seeing our numbers go down. I know right around Thanksgiving they fluctuated and went up a little bit, but everybody is doing their part, and so I'm very proud of that. We've been on task with our messaging. We've gotten the message out to everyone in a timely manner. We've been transparent with what we are doing and what's available to them. We've made COVID shots available here at City Hall and throughout the city of Southfield. So we're doing our part, and for me, the proudest thing is that our numbers are going down. So I appreciate that.
Now, let's talk a little bit about work-life balance. In addition to your roles as City Council President, being an HR professional, secularly by day, you're also a wife, mother, and grandmother, as a matter of fact. So how do you balance all of that?
That's a challenge. There's only 24 hours in a day, so I have to prioritize things, and family is first with me. I don't take anything away from my family. I love them, and they understand and appreciate the hard work that I do. So we work very well together, but I have to also maintain my health and take care of myself so that I'm here for my family, for work, and the various other things. So it is a challenge, but it's doable. You just have to make time for each and everything.
Absolutely. Now, a personal question. What does Southfield mean to you? And talk a little bit about your long-term goals. So compound question there. We'll take first, what does Southfield mean to you?
Southfield is home for me. I live here, I work here, I raised my children here. Southfield is my home, so I love it. So I do all I can to continue to have Southfield a place of destination, something that's beautiful, something that we want to talk about, visit, and be a part of. So that's what Southfield is to me. I simply love it.
Yes. And then in terms of goals, and I know you've got a lot of goals for the city, short-term and long-term, what are some of your short-term goals? And then looking long-term, what are some of the long-term goals?
Again, the short-term goals is staying on top of this COVID virus and helping people to practice safe distancing, their mask wearing, and to take the vaccine when it becomes available, and just staying safe, because public safety is number one. Long-term, we have Northland, as you know, and getting that developed. We were working on the roads. We have a plan for completing those. We have a lot of projects, I should say, in the works. Transparency is one of the bigger things for me, and we are working together. When I say we, that's the council and administration, working to present information in ways that everyone can know what's going on and what we're doing in the city. We are using social media, we're using the Cable 15, we're using Facebook, all kinds of things to keep people informed. So again, we have a lot of projects. I think the number one long-term to shore up, or if there's such a thing, is Northland. So we're trying to stay on top of that, and we're trying to give monthly reports, because weekly it changes too much for weekly, but monthly reports on and updates on what's going on there.
Let's talk a little bit about the Southfield community, the people, the residents. Talk about how dynamic the community is and how that inspires you as you serve in elected leadership.
Well, as you know, I care, and I care about not just Southfield, but the residents of Southfield. I care about the small business. I care about the large business. And because I care so much, I take time to be a part of each one. I talk with our residents no matter where we are. If I see them at the grocery store, we're up at Kroger, we'll stop and we'll talk. They'll talk to me and tell me what's on their minds. If there's an event going on, I make sure that everyone that I meet knows that this event is happening. We just, the police department and the fire department gave toys and different gift bags at Christmas time, because we had to change the way we did. We usually have Christmas at the Berg. Well, we couldn't have that. So we found another way, and we had drive-by, and they gave away over 600 gift bags. These are different things that we wanted to make sure we still serve our community in a way that it's helpful to them and still keep them safe. So I just care. I really do, and I enjoy being a person that our residents are comfortable with contacting. The employees here in Southfield are comfortable with contacting me and talking to me. The business owners will contact me and talk to me and say, hey, you care, so I can talk to you about this. And if you call me, I will return your call. And I just take pride in that, and I'm really proud. One of the proudest moments that I had was when one of my residents came up to me and said, Councilwoman Taylor, I brought my daughter here to meet you because I wanted to show her once I told her your story, she asked to meet you, and I wanted to show her that things can be achieved, and so I'm an example for his daughter, and that was very, very enlightening, and it made me feel very, very good.
And that perfectly transitions into our next question. What advice would you have for young women, especially young women of color who are aspiring to leadership positions? What advice would you give to them?
I told them to stand in there, that any and everything is possible. Study, do your work, go to school, ask questions. And if there's some area that you want to participate in, volunteer in that area while you're in school so you can learn about it, and then just become more and more involved so that you can become the best person that you can be. If this is something that you want to do, then let's do it.
Yes, well put. Now, what's one thing that people don't necessarily know about council that they would be surprised to find out?
Me personally, or the council as a whole?
Both.
Okay, me personally is probably that I like classical music. I used to play violin when I was younger.
Oh, really?
So I really, really enjoy listening to classical music and enjoy plays, and that some people might find that a little surprising, I don't know. But I do, I really enjoy that. And I'm a kind of quiet person. I like being to myself sometimes, just to think and to regroup and to get all my thoughts and things together so I can better serve other people. The council, that we are truly a team. If one person has a question or a concern about something, we meet and talk about it. We talk things out, and we're comfortable with talking with each other. And if there's something, like I said, that is of concern, we as a whole will talk about it. We may not all agree, which we don't, but we do agree to talk about it, and we have respect for one another. We recognize that each of us are individuals and we have individual opinions, but again, we have that respect level, which is shown throughout all the work that we do together.
Yes. Is there anything that we missed asking, either about yourself or about council or about some of the goals for the city? Anything that we missed that you'd like to discuss?
Not that we've missed. I just want to say thank you to this council for allowing me to lead them in 2021. That was an honor to unanimously be voted to council president. That shows that I'm doing something right for the council, and they have put their trust in my leadership skills, and that I do want to say thank you for, and that I do love my family. I do appreciate all of the hard work that they allow me to do, and sometimes I do take time from my family, but they're there with me, and we share a lot of time together, making up for things when I have to run over a little bit for a meeting or whatever. Mm-hmm. And that COVID has changed our lives so much. We do a lot of virtual meetings and things of this nature that we never had to do before. So I just want to say thank you to you and to Multimedia Services for allowing me this time to meet, and I'm available anytime if you have any questions or concerns that you might have. So thank you very much.
All right. Well, Councilwoman Taylor, we thank you for having this conversation with us, and we look forward to speaking with you again very soon.
Thank you.
Now, you can view this episode of One-on-One by visiting our Facebook and YouTube pages at Southfield Multimedia Services, in addition to viewing it on the channel as well. For One-on-One, my name is Chris Campbell, and we will see you next time.